If you're a leader in any capacity, I'm willing to bet you've gotten a compliment that felt, well, amazing in the moment, but left you with a kind of weird feeling later. It's a really subtle trap, a flattering one, and we're calling it the Absalom danger. It's all about this tricky problem of split loyalty.
I mean, come on, hearing this feels incredible, doesn't it? It's like the ultimate validation. But I want you to see that hidden right inside this praise is a huge warning sign, a red flag for the health of your team and your entire organization.
So that feeling, that praise that hides a problem, that's what we're talking about when we say the flattering danger. Let's break down exactly why this kind of comment, while it feels great for your ego, is actually a trap for everyone involved.
Yeah, you might hear things like, seriously, if it weren't for you, I'd be out of here. Or maybe, you just get us in a way the senior leader doesn't. And on the surface, wow, that feels like a huge vote of confidence, right? It sounds like they're telling you you're the glue holding the whole place together. But let's look a little closer at what's really being said.
This is where we really decode what's going on. How it feels is that you're being seen, but what it is flattery aimed right at your ego. You might feel appreciated, but that appreciation is often built on an offense someone's holding against your senior leader. And you definitely feel important, but that importance is coming from misplaced loyalty that's being given to you personally instead of to the overall vision of the organization. And here's the absolute crux of it. If you just soak up that praise, if you just smile and nod without correcting it, you are quietly accepting the role of a replacement authority. Whether you mean to or not, you're letting a tiny seed of disloyalty take root, and you're positioning yourself as an alternative center of power.
Now, this whole dynamic, it is not new. It's not a modern corporate problem. In fact, this pattern of splitting loyalty is ancient. And to really understand it, we have to go back and look at the story of a man named Absalom.
So where does this whole impulse to steal hearts even come from? This subtle art of winning people over, often by making the person in charge look just a little bit worse? Well, like I said, this pattern is thousands of years old. The story comes from the Old Testament, and it's about Absalom, the son of King David. He would go and strategically position himself right at the city gate. Now, you gotta understand, back then, the gate was everything. It was the courthouse, the public square, the place you went to get justice. So he'd intercept people on the way to see the king, and he would just listen. He'd hear all their problems, their frustrations, their grievances with the system. He made himself the most sympathetic ear in the kingdom. And after listening, he'd say things like, you know what, you're totally right, your case is just, but the king, he doesn't have anyone to hear you. And then he'd drop the line, oh, if only I were the judge, then everyone would get the justice they deserve. See what he did? He positioned himself as the compassionate alternative. And the result of this whole campaign of sympathy and validation, the text is chillingly clear. It says Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. He literally redirected their loyalty, pulling it away from the king and pointing it right at himself. So this is it. This is the Absalom danger. It's when a subordinate leader's empathy and care, which are good things, become a tool, whether they mean it or not, for creating a separate power base, for undermining the primary leader. It looks like caring, but in reality, it's building a competing throne in people's hearts. Okay, we've diagnosed the problem. We've seen its ancient pattern. Now for the most important part, the practical, actionable playbook for exactly how to handle this with integrity. So when that person comes to you with that flattering but dangerous praise, what do you actually do? How do you shut down the Absalom pattern before it starts and build a truly healthy, unified culture? Here it is, your 5-step playbook. We start with looking inward to discern your own heart. Then it's about direct communication, setting the tone. After that comes setting boundaries, refusing to be a safe space for negativity. Then it's about leadership by example, by affirming your leader. And finally, protecting the team by escalating, but only if you absolutely have to. Before you can address this with anyone else, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Ask the hard question. Do I secretly enjoy being seen as the better leader? Do I have my own frustrations with my boss that make these comments feel good? You have to get your own heart right before you can lead someone else's. So the next time it happens, you need to address it head on. You can say something like, hey, I really appreciate that you feel supported by me, but let's be super clear, we are all here to support our senior leader. Speaking against them, especially to me, just isn't okay. You're teaching a vital lesson right there. Loyalty to you has to include loyalty to your leader. If they keep coming to you to vent about leadership, you have to stop being a safe space for it. You have to break the complaint cycle. Ask them directly, have you shared this feedback respectfully with our leader? If the answer is no, you make it clear. Complaining to me isn't actually productive. This protects your integrity and it stops the whole negative pattern in its tracks.
Your team learns how to behave by watching you. It's that simple. So use your influence to speak well of your senior leader in public. Explain their decisions. Provide positive context. When your team sees your loyalty is consistently pointed upwards, that becomes the cultural standard.
And finally, if a team member just keeps sowing discord, even after you've corrected them, you have a responsibility to escalate. Document the specific incidents and calmly let your leader know what's happening. The goal here is never to punish the person. It's to protect the unity of the entire team.
Now, these 5 steps, they aren't just a to-do list. They flow from a very specific internal mindset. So let's look at the core beliefs of a leader who knows how to navigate the Absalom danger. This is principle number 1, and it is so critical. You have to understand that this kind of split loyalty, it isn't real. It's fool's gold. Anyone who is disloyal to your leader will eventually be disloyal to you. True, safe loyalty is always unified. This totally reframes your role. You are not a reservoir designed to collect loyalty. You are a conduit. Your job is to take the trust and respect people have for you and direct it toward the organization's shared vision and its primary leadership. And this is the commitment. It's a conscious decision to resist that ego boost that comes from being the favorite leader. Instead, you choose to be a supportive, aligned part of the team, making the whole structure stronger, not just your little piece of it. So as you go about your work, this is the one question to leave with, the one to ask yourself over and over. Every day, through your actions, your words, and even through your silence, whose loyalty are you building? Are you building a personal fan club, or are you strengthening the loyalty of the entire team to its one shared mission?